Hello, and welcome to another video from Web Wonks. Today, we're going to talk about ADK, which is the Agent Development Kit from Google. So it's not a new platform, it's been there for a while, but it is more and more used these days because of all the talks about the AI and having your custom agents and all the things that they can basically do. So today, we're going to talk about the structure of how these ADK and the agents work together. So obviously, everyone wants to work with an AI agent that connects to their own data, and look at all the responses, the reasons, the implementations to be done, how they would want to do it. So working with any third-party agents, which you can just take off the shelf like Claude or something like that, gives you capabilities but does not give you control. So that actually raises a lot of other questions regarding the security and everything else as well. So with the structure, like what you can see on my screen, you can actually create your own agents, configure them in your own way so that your ADK platform, which is basically this whole thing, works in a way exactly how you want it to work. And the cost is very significant lower as well, as we have what we have been testing from our end when we're using something like ADK as well as some other implementation things have been very, very easy as well, or not as hallucinating as what a typical of the uh, counter product could do. So let's talk about what exactly this includes. So ADK is actually an open source framework for creating AI agents that can actually perform the tasks, not only just chat to you. So it sits in your application layer between your user interface, which is like your front end, what a user would actually typically see, and also the AI models. So all of these tools and the APIs that sit in there. So ADK actually sits in between here. So let's just start it with the main component. So obviously, user, this is you who is going to interact with a front end where a URL will be shared with you, and you can basically interact with an agent directly on that URL. Typically, what you do with Gemini or Perplexity or OpenAI or ChatGPT or Claude, they give you like this URL to interact with. So what actually sits on that URL is actually a root agent, which has some capabilities for all the sub agents in between. We are calling them task one, task two, task three agent. But this is what the ADK platform actually includes. So when you ask a question from a front end, or this user asks a question in the front end, hey, do something, or I want to do this platform or review the data, the root agent will actually make a decision to pick one of the sub agents and see where that data is basically available. And then it will go through the further down the line, which I'll explain further. So to do what exactly you want it to do as well. So this is how the ADK basically sits in between the front end and the user and all the capabilities that you have in the back end. So agent, as I was saying, is one of the main component of that one. So you need to be aware of like what type of capabilities this root agent or the task agent needs to have, what model you're using, whether you use Gemini, whether you use Claude, I think Mistral, OpenAI, all of them can be enabled or actually configured within the ADK platform as well. The only prerequisite is you need to have enterprise accounts for all of these. So you cannot do it on your personal accounts. You have to have enterprise subscription with Google, Gemini, any other platform that you're working with as well. So yeah, this is where the ADK platform sits. The one next to it is what you call tools. So tools actually include the MCPs and actual queries or tools, what exactly you want this MCP to get. So this is more of like configuring it and controlling exactly what you want it to do, that agent to do for yourself, and not just do some random thing which you're not asked for. So for example, I have a task one agent where I want to do some review task on Google Ads. There is an MCP for Google Ads, which can let me connect to Google Ads data. But in that MCP, I'm basically giving my agent to get the data, to review the data, and run the query or implement something. So only these three components are actually given to this agent to do. I can take one out or add four more in, totally depending on what exactly this task is about and what we want it to do. And then all of this data or this connection, these tools are actually connected to the Google Ads API correctly, any databases, any other components that it actually require to access to make that thing happen for you. So this way you control what each and every agent can do for you. So it doesn't go out and start hallucinating things or make arbitrary reviews which are not even relevant or what you were looking for. So basically, each and every agent is configured in that way to deliver what you ask it to do. So task one agent, you have task two agent where you can connect to your Looker data and connect the data, review it. You can actually even call in the data from BigQuery directly as well. So all of that too. Task three agent, as I was saying, it's about analytics. So you can get the data, review, implement any changes, all of that connected to the APIs as well. So the the most important part of this structure is actually the structure itself, because these agents are not limited to 3 or 5 or 10. So you can actually use more and more and more out of that. And also then you can use a very high-end root agent, whether it's enterprise level for Gemini, the latest model that they are working on, or ChatGPT or Perplexity or Claude. So this root agent is going to actually decide which agent to go back to, get all the information out, and give you that on the front end here to give you what exactly you want. So these can actually review the data for you. They can actually execute the things for you. They can make changes into the accounts. So all of that can be done through this structure. So yeah, so talking about a few benefits for this one. So you get a structured, repeatable way to build agents instead of a one-off prompt, because what will happen, yes, this one person in your company is very good with prompts and his or her prompts are very efficient. However, this other person, not very good, and their prompts are very vague and their answers will be vague. So in this way, you can actually structure in a very easy way so that the prompts, the results are always up to the mark, exactly what you want them to do. And you can plug in different models while keeping your orchestration logic stable. So all of these things are still relevant, irrespective of what model comes in tomorrow by one of the companies, Google, Gemini, ChatGPT, X. So you can use any of the models in this structure, irrespective of what are the capabilities. So you can work on that, improve on your model, improve on your structure. So you can, the third is you can safely expose tools and services with clear control over what an agent is allowed to do. So that is the most important part in there as well. So you control what agent is allowed to do. Do not go ahead and make any irrelevant changes, irrelevant reviews, irrelevant suggestions. So you control that data and actually have a path from local experimentation to production ready execution as well. So you start with one agent. You don't have to do at least or all three agents at the same time. Just one agent, one root agent, and start working towards that. Add in another one, add another one, add another one. This can be 100 agents strong. And you know this one root agent is going to pick up. If I ask something for it, it will go to a respective sub-agent and it will make it happen. So all of this orchestration, all of this structure actually gives you a lot more control on that capabilities as well. So yeah, it's very exciting and it's very new. And I would suggest start thinking about these things instead of just using top of the counter product, which can do certain things at a very high cost in their own way, which is good in 5%, 10% of the cases, but 95% of the time you want this agent to do something for what exactly you want it to happen. So if it actually sounds interesting to you, yeah, that's where we are heading, and we are very excited to take on this journey along with us. Cheers. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.